Hello everybody, welcome back to Blunt Ape. Let me ask you something. Does it feel like the world has gone off the rails lately and people are becoming more erratic, hostile, with no moral compass in sight? What if I told you that you're not surrounded by monsters and what you're feeling is actually a breakdown in our ability or willingness to engage with others? We live in an age of multimedia, of incredible amounts of information being blasted at us each day. We've become so overwhelmed by it that we rely on others to interpret and simplify everyday life for us, cut it down into small chunks and serve it to us as news. As a bonus, we're even told what to think about it. In the process, all nuance is lost and most of the information is geared towards getting a quick reaction out of us, making sure that we come back for the next news fix. In return, all that is expected of us is to react emotionally and to reduce our attention span. This creates an artificial, self-amplifying, gloomy reality in which there's no time to analyze, no room for debate, and everyone is out to get us. People are on the edge, communication breaks down, and entire groups become divided. All is not lost though. I believe there's a way to come back from that. I believe there's a way to achieve a more productive, rewarding way of thinking, of looking at things, of engaging with people. Yes, even with the despicable ones you absolutely cannot stand. I'll start with the hardest step first. Cultivate a deep, genuine respect for people, for the human being. Instead of seeing a lesser person whose opinions, choices or actions you absolutely cannot stand, someone who happens to make your life more difficult, accept the reality that you may be dealing with a complex being, just like you, who's got their own set of priorities, desires, and limited ability to deal with life's challenges. Instead of them directly and actively affecting you, what if they're just dealing with their own crap and you're just crossing paths? I'm not excluding the possibility of you having your own personal nemesis out to get you, but chances of that are quite slim. I'll go a step further on this point and recommend you outright reject any attempt you see at people being dehumanized in the media or in private conversations. The act of dehumanizing is the first step in invalidating anything they have to say, regardless of how relevant it may be. It then becomes easier to accept that a lesser human being is capable of unspeakable acts. If you push back against the dehumanizing, you'll start asking yourself more often, would someone actually do that? The moment you push yourself to see people instead of all sorts of labels, something magical happens. You'll spend a few extra moments here and there, listening to the other side's opinion on things. You'll find yourself empathizing more, putting yourself in the other person's proverbial shoes. In the end, it'll still be your decision whether you allow the other person's opinion to influence yours or not, but at least there's been a conversation. Step 2. Accept that there are always at least two sides to any story. Put simply, if you only listen to one side's story in an argument or political debate or conflict, there's a 50% chance you're being lied to. I don't know about you, but I don't like those odds. By not listening to all sides involved, you're potentially missing out on key information. What I'm inviting you to do is to adopt a neutral position and to apply due process. Feel free to picture yourself as a judge in a courtroom, patiently listening to each side's take and then make your decision. This may be a lot more difficult than you'd think at first, especially if you already hold strong views on politics, on sensitive cultural and societal matters. As a progressive, when was the last time you spoke with a conservative about immigration or taxation policy? As a pro-life advocate, when was the last time you engaged in dialogue with a pro-choice advocate, instead of having news outlets interpret their opinion, simplify it and serve it to you as a 5-minute briefing? On an even more personal level, when was the last time you had a friend or relative complain about an ongoing argument and you asked, what does the other person have to say about this? Step 3. Don't be afraid to have opinions on anything. One of the more worrying developments I've been seeing in the media is an effort to make everyday people afraid or ashamed of expressing personal opinions. An effort to make people stop thinking for themselves and to have the whole world explained to them by others. This morphs into us policing each other's opinions, punishing or reporting each other for having opinions, to the point where it's safer to just censor ourselves. we are quickly reaching the absurd stage where we're not having conversations anymore, but merely presenting what our preferred experts are saying on a topic, while being countered by other people's experts' views on that topic. Or even worse, reaching a point where we're not having a dialogue, but merely reciting from our preferred media outlets' headlines. On the other hand, expressing original thought requires extra work, requires looking into things, analyzing, criticizing. Yes, there's even the risk of having some of your genuine opinions challenged by others. You may even be proven wrong on some topics. But that's just part of the long-lost art of polite conversation and debate. In the long term, this has the positive effect of refining our thinking and offering us new perspectives on the world around us. Okay, using the above steps, do you think you have some extra tools now to approach some of the more complex, contentious, taboo topics in your life? Let me know in the comments. Feel free to suggest such topics, and I'd be more than happy to express my thoughts on them. Until next time.